Hello everyone, it is me, Phantom Zwei, back with some more G Sencho no Mao. So, a lot of stuff has been happening in the game. We've gotten onto Tsubaki's route. Kyosuke is, undergoing some questions about his way of life. All kinds of stuff going on. So, without further ado, let's hop right into it, shall we? It's been a week since I started going out with Tsubaki. During that time, I've visited her home numerous times to eat dinner with her family. Tsubaki's siblings call me Oni-chan. True to their word, they already treat me like an honest-to-God member of their family. It was the night before their big move that Tsubaki's father called me over. What did you say? After hearing the good news, the entire family was exuberant. You managed to borrow 50 million yen.
僕のいとこが大阪で事業をやっていてね。昔ちょっとした喧嘩で仲違いしていたんだが、事情を説明したら力になってくれるそうでね。
He must be a profoundly generous man. This is utterly unthinkable. Was it a mistake to forego investigating the economic status of the relatives?
いとこは無利子無担保で全額貸してくれるそうでね。
How can something so stupid happen? I mustered all of my strength and swallowed this sentence before it burst out. Even amongst family, to think that there would be a person who would lend an astronomical sum such as 50 million yen to people who clearly won't be able to pay it back. It's like throwing all that money into the gutter. Then again, if you consider Tsubaki's father's character, it's not impossible.
お父さん、すごいね。なんだろう、人徳っていうのかな。
おいおい、おだてるなよ。俺でも土下座してお願いしてきたんだ。おかげでもうひとこには頭が上がらん。
Well now, to think your loan is actually repaid. Tsubaki's father borrowed 50 million yen from a company I introduced him to. Clearing the debt means he gets the collateral back. In other words, he gets to keep his land. Alternatively, one could describe the situation thusly. My entire plan has been ruined.
いや、京介君、君には新しい住居まで用意してもらってなんだが、やっぱり僕には畑仕事があっててね。
僕もこのお家好き。
The family overflowed with joy. Yet there I was, swamped with regret. You won't run into any issues with the interest? Unwilling to resign, I asked a question.
もちろんだよ。やっぱり町金融は高いね。持つべきものは親戚を含めた家族だよ。
It's over. How will I answer to Sano? The Azai Corporation's reputation will suffer a monstrous blow from this. No, company be damned. The most terrifying thing of all is Gonzo. And I have to go report this to him.
ここが一番落ち着くよね。京介君もそう思わない？
Sure.
誘拐犯みたいな悪魔もいれば、おじさんみたいな神様もいるんだね。
Tsubaki, who couldn't possibly understand my feelings at the moment, was laughing and talking with energy. Her whole family was laughing so innocently. That smile, those smiles, is what draws angels to their aid. Amongst the crowd of happy faces, mine alone bore a false smile. My lips trembled as I reported the information to Gonzo. This is probably gonna go badly. He had listened silently to my report, but at long last, he slowly opened his mouth. Oops. Yep, Red silenced the phone again. I apologize. This is all because of my negligence. It won't be clear until I perform a thorough damage analysis. The worst-case scenario involves the canceling of our contract with Sano Corporation, which implies we'd be doing business as if peddling barefooted from now on. Yes, sir.
お前はなすべきことをなした。そうだな。
Yes, sir.
で、お前は何をしていた？
I immediately fell speechless.
なぜもっと調べをつけておかなかった？
Fuck. He's hit it dead on.
金に困った家畜は親でも売る。血を分けた兄弟から無心する。そんなことをお前が知らんとは思えんが。
I was careless.
この野郎、ふぬけてやがったな。
Woo! He glared harshly at me with bloodshot eyes containing the dregs of anger.
女か。
My spine froze.
そうか。よりによってその家族の娘に入れ込んだか。
Nothing can be hidden from Gonzo. I lowered my head like a prisoner awaiting his execution.
京介、
The beast groaned softly.
飲みに行くぞ。
Huh? My worst fears began to tear at my innards.
俺のおごりだ。
Those fears manifested in the form of my quivering fingertips. Soon after, I was riding downtown in Gonzo's car. The man himself didn't say a thing as we drove along. He only stared at the hungry, lustful neon signs. The driver's eyes were wide open, silently screaming to me in fear through the rearview mirror. His fingers on the wheel, his wide shoulders covered by a suit jacket. His entire body seemed so rigid. He was deeply afraid of Gonzo tonight. The air in the high-end club we went to downtown was saturated with heat, cigarette smoke, and an insane lust for money. The moment Gonzo and his entourage showed their faces, the normal customers all fled like scared rabbits towards the exit. There were around 10 people here, each with an atrocious, horrific face. All of them surrounding Gonzo. Looking around, there were only tight perms, slickbacks, crew cuts, and baldies. As if this were some social norm or law about it, everyone was wearing vulgar decorations.
全員揃ってるな。
Gonzo looked around the floor with sharp eyes.
今日はめでたい日だ。飲め。
Gonzo laughed, and in contrast, shivers ran across the angry faces of those around him.
息子の京介に初めてまともな女ができた。
Serpentine glares from all 10 people concentrated on me.
本当ですか、坊ちゃん。仇の娘さんですかい?
The one calling me son is the underboss of the organization, Haribe. He stands as number 2 within the group, but there's an immense difference in power between him and Gonzo, the man on top.
いや、驚きましたよ、親父。急なお呼びでしたから、てっきり勝ち込みかと思いました。
This huge bald man happens to be the former professional wrestler, Grizzly Ijima. He was chased out of the sport after half killing his production owner in a crime of passion, and is said to have been wandering the streets when he was picked up by Gonzo. Ever since then, he's been Gonzo's bodyguard. Gonzo almost always keeps him at his side when he goes out.
お前らも日々忙しいのは重々承知している。こんな要件に付き合わせて悪かったな。
とんでもない。坊ちゃんのためならてめえらいくらでも駆けつけます。なあ、お前ら!
Haribe's inquiries and shouts serve to synchronize everyone's opinions.
だそうだ、京介。
This is not gonna go well. Having the topic suddenly turn to me made me want to instinctively curl up. I'm very glad that everyone can be here today to celebrate with me. This is the only thing that I can say. Everyone held up their cups and cheered. High-grade alcohol, stuff going for 200,000 yen per bottle, was brought to the table. Everyone in the family downed their drinks in the order of power. Here and there, the sound of insults mixed with cheers as they clicked glasses. I was seated at the seat of honor, forced to calmly deal with each and every wicked face in the crowd. The amount of cigarette smoke in the air was like murder on my lungs.
てめえ、親は息災か?
After a while, Gonzo asked a question to the man in charge of pouring the drinks. The moment Gonzo opened his mouth, the crowd, which had been so loud only a moment ago, ceased all sound. No matter how insignificant his sentence was, it was enough to turn the savage lions into cowardly kittens.
自分の親は自分が3つの時にくたばりましたが、それが何か。
The man was terrified, as if he'd committed a blunder.
そうか。オリベア。
自分は親父もご存知の通り今無所にいるはずですが。
飯島んとこは。
自分とこはもともとあっちの国の生まれですから。だから本国で畑でも耕してるんじゃないんですかね。
そうか。
Gonzo repeated the same question to everyone in the room. Every last one of them had some family problem. One's father disappeared. Another's mother became a prostitute. One man went to juvie after stabbing someone. A few were forced to pay back someone else's debt. Several had used drugs to escape reality. Practically all of them had their lives destroyed by some drinking or gambling habit.
おいおい。ここにいるのはろくでなしばかりか？
Vulgar laughter permeated the room. It was a dark laugh of self-abandonment, telling me that they'd accepted the fact that life had given up on them.
不幸なことだとは思わないか、京介。
Yes. Everyone here already knows his place. Not one thinks his life has been unfortunate. They can no longer accept pity from anyone. No one here has hope that this world will become fair. They know only this, the primary rule of survival: corner the weak and obey those with might. The word family probably doesn't mean much to anyone following such a law. Nevertheless, Gonzo brought together the deep creases on his brow of his open-hearted face as he said,
だが、俺たちは違うよな。
At that, everyone's faces tightened. I finally realized Gonzo's true intentions. Gonzo slowly surveyed everyone in the group, choosing finally to settle those eyes and their unending darkness they bear on me.
俺たちは家族だよな。
His eyes threatened me, preventing me from saying yes or no. His next line sounded like it had been taken straight out from a family drama, yet it felt more akin to a scene in a dark novel when passing through Gonzo's mouth.
家族は裏切らないな。
Yes, everyone answered it with a voice so loud it was as if they were trying to fill the club. Gonzo smiled with satisfaction. A trained dog won't howl at the wrong time.
京介、よかったな。
Yes. A sensation of falling into a bottomless swamp rushed towards my heart. Gonzo had just proclaimed before all of these people that he wouldn't let me escape. Betrayal means death. That is the law of blood that Gonzo and I share. This swamp has no bottom. Endless fathoms await me. Gonzo hounds me with that cruel mind of
お
his.
い、例のものを京介にくれてやれ。
One of the people around him moved. After a few minutes, a black briefcase was presented to me. Everyone present was staring at its contents with greed.
5000ある。
The 10,000 yen bills were all neatly lined up.
お前には今まで何か与えたことが一度もなかっただろう。
Fear burned the bottom of my heart. From the eyes of an outsider, this just looks like a father celebrating with his son. But since his eye Gonzo's is textbook case miser, there's no chance of that.
受け取れ。これで借金も少しは減るな。
An unpleasant sweat coated my skin, and my stomach ached. Everyone threw their awed gazes at Gonzo. The father that has never given an allowance before now picked an occasion worth celebrating to give an astronomical sum to his son. It's enough of a performance. As long as we follow this great man, there's no need to worry about money. Thus, their loyalty is renewed.
坊ちゃん、おめでとうございます。いやー、いいお父さんを持ちましたね。
How can I be happy? If I accept this 50 million, then I've received Gonzo's favor. How many fortunes will I have to earn before I can repay this?
どうした？遠慮するな。
Gonzo's cruelty and cunning has made me an offer that I can't refuse. Everyone here is holding his breath, waiting for that moment, the climax of the celebration. A refusal would disgrace the boss. Everyone would turn their fangs towards me. Once again, I felt a mix of respect and fear for the being known as Azai Gonzo. Thank you very much, Father. Gonzo was still staring at me, as if probing, waiting for my next sentence. I will spend my life repaying this kindness. Gonzo brought the corner of his mouth nearly to his ear.
いいぞ、京介。お前はできた息子だ。
Like a released arrow, the beasts rose their voices in cheer. The 50 million he gave me is heavy in my arms. The money I just received so easily was enough to save Tsubaki's family. But to me, right here in this club, it's certainly not worth the same amount. I can't possibly see this as worth the same amount. The dark feast continued until dawn. Tsubaki and her ilk can do nothing but bemoan their fate now. I sealed my heart for good this time, once again submitting to the role of Azai Gonzo's prized livestock. Whew, what a scene. And that's just the beginning of this episode, man. Anyway, I need to rethink my strategy. No matter what I have to do, I absolutely must force Tsubaki's family to move out. This is Kyosuke. Hello. I apologize for calling you at this time. Actually, I got into direct contact with Sano Corporation's Mr. Somiya. I didn't know why, but the director of senior management has been personally entrusted to look over this matter. It's like receiving an imperial decree. No matter what, the Azai Corporation must fulfill this request. That's the whole story. I was hoping we could discuss this and possibly extend the deadline a few more days.
いいえ、もう結構ですよ。他を当たらせていただきますので。
Somiya's reaction was surprisingly cold. Someone else, you say?
ご心配なく、親衛会の方にもいくらかコネクションがありますから。
Shin'ei is a powerful organization with the Soa Alliance. Its influence takes a close second behind Gonzo's Sonoyama group. Right now, it's still a group consisting of stubborn militarists. They're always at odds with Gonzo's economic focus. Even in my worst nightmares, I wouldn't have thought that our business would be stolen by them. 2 weeks. No, can you give me 10 days? I swear to you, I will meet and exceed your expectations.
と言われましても、浅井工業さんは荒っぽい手口は好まれないのでしょう。せっかくその道のプロにお願いして、我々としても大船に乗ったつもりだったのですが。
If you request it next time.
今後は
This asshole. We won't hesitate to use more extreme methods.
なるほど。では、1週間お待ちしましょう。
This asshole is one hell of a veteran when it comes to these things. For all I know, he never even talked with Shin'ei. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to continue working with you. Damn it. Even though I said that to Mr. Somiya, I'm still at square one. From today on, we'll send out a few threatening phone calls and disturbing visits their way. Still, in this modern age, it's too dangerous to force them to move. If things go wrong, I'll end up in the slammer. No, wait. Perhaps I could lay a little groundwork with the police's jurisdiction beforehand. That way, no matter how much of a fuss Tsubaki's family makes, the police won't act. Of course, this is different from avoiding a speeding ticket. It would require substantial cash. On the other hand, perhaps I could get a hold of a weakness of theirs. I worked long into the night, analyzing illegal, contemptible tactics. During that time, Tsubaki's smiling face surfaced in my mind again and again. Again and again, I'd feel her warmth in my arms. But every time, Gonzo's reward, the abhorrent faces of those 10 odd men, stilled my heart once more. It's me. I want you to dig around a bit. Try to make it as section chief or something from the prefectural or metropolitan police department. That night, there wasn't time to sleep. Kyosuke's doing all he can to, ironically, ruin Tsubaki's family. The evening of the next day, I was devising strategies to end this charade while spending time with Tsubaki. So, what do you think? Is this cafe too fancy for you too? Or are you comfortable?
ああいうお店 私でもなんとか空気に溶け込めるね。
After asking for my permission, Tsubaki took her cell out of her pocket.
お母さんからだ。
Does she want you home?
うんうん。今日はお母さんがいろいろするから彼氏と遊んできていいよって。
You guys sure are close.
そうかな。
Yeah, well, in any case, if your mom says it's okay, you should hang out with me a bit longer.
うん。
Tsubaki seemed to be wavering.
ちょっとならいいよ。あんまり遅くなったらお母さんも大変だろうから。
Don't you think it's tiring to carry so much responsibility in your family?
そう？
Excuse
今
me.
までずっとこうだったから大変なことなんてないよ。
Right after she finished, Tsubaki's brow furrowed.
ごめん、それは嘘だね。誘拐事件があってうちが大変だった時、私ちょっとダメだったし。
Bad?
うん、嫌なこと全部忘れて京介くんと遊んでたいって思ったの。弟たちの面倒とかうちでご飯作ることとか全部丸投げして好きなように遊んでたいって。
So what?
だから私にもそういう自分勝手な気持ちあるんだなって思ったの。なんていうのかな、自然に私はいい子ですみたいな感じじゃないの。家族のためなら何でもやりますみたいな感じじゃなくて、あれ、何言ってるんだろうね。
Panicking, she pulled out her diary from somewhere. No, there's no need for the diary. That just means that you're a human being, Tsubaki.
そう、ヒューマンです。だからお腹もすくよ。
Human this! Tsubaki said so brightly, gently holding onto my arm. Alright then, let's get a bite to eat. What do you want?
なんでもいいよ。私は京介くんについていくの。
Her head was rubbing against my arm. Out in public, she innocently lets me spoil her. For me, who's really sensitive to other people's attention, this is a bit discouraging. Still, I admire her purity. I brought Tsubaki to a nearby restaurant that I go to often. Tsubaki seemed to really care for busy spots such as this, and as always, she jotted the location of the place in her diary. Say, why do you enjoy writing in your diary?
なんでだろうね。
When did you start the habit of writing?
きっかけは子供の頃お父さんが買ってくれたからかな。もう何度も修理に出してボロボロになってるんだけどね。京介くんはどうしてクラシックが好きなの？
Who knows? Maybe it's because my family loved it. I still remember my father playing air on the G string.
やっぱりお父さんの影響を受けるんだね。一緒だね。
She giggled happily. However, I'm nothing like you. The many differences between my family memories and yours are like the difference between the sky and the depths of a chasm. Tsubaki. Tsubaki was studying my face from below.
どうしたの？寒いの？
No, just a bit uneasy. Can I really have a normal relationship with Tsubaki? Can Tsubaki, a person who grew up surrounded by happiness, possibly understand me well enough to be my girlfriend? Moreover, can I really force someone like her out of her own home?
お仕事のことかな。
Yeah, something like that.
私にできることがあったら何でも言ってね。
Anything, huh? Then convince your father to sell your land to Sano. I can't just come out and say that. After the man went through all that trouble to get the money so they wouldn't have to move, so that his family could finally calm their hearts. Alright, I will. Anyway, let me walk you home.
ああ、いいよ。一人で帰れるよ。忙しいんでしょ？
No, I insist.
そう？
In truth, she's right. There's no more time to play around. Within a week, no, 6 days, I need to conceive and execute some new scheme. Upon my entrance, the family mobbed me, as usual.
お兄ちゃんお風呂
Hey kid, don't pull on my pants.
大人気だね京介くんは
Welcome back, Tsubaki's mother said open-heartedly.
いやー、すっかり君もこの家に馴染んできたね。
うん違和感ないよね
Oh, really?
泊まってくんだろ。今日は夜通し僕の若い頃の話でも聞かせてやろうじゃないか。いや僕はね、こう見えてもディスコ六本木の VIP だったんだよ。
Damn, these people always manage to throw me off. I'm sorry, but there are things I need to tend to.
いいじゃないか。明日は休みなんだし。
お風呂は京介くんこれから氷が降るっていう話だよ
Actually, I think I remember seeing something about that.
ごめんね送ってもらったばっかりに
なんだい。どうしてもって言うんならハイヤー呼ぼうか。
No, I'll be fine. If you count the distance and transit time, it would likely cost over 10,000 yen.
遠慮しなくていいよ。母さん、ハイヤー。
Alright, I get it. I understand. Why do they have to be so caring? I'll stay the night.
やったー
What do they believe about me that causes them to treat me this way? No, it's just that this is their nature. Maybe they treat everyone like this. What would they think if they found out I was the person behind the misfortunes that have befallen them? I took a bath with Hiroaki-kun.
また全部お兄ちゃんに洗ってもらった
The kid doesn't seem to know hot from cold, running around the room stark naked.
ありがとうね京介くん
なら今度は椿が京介くんの背中洗ってやれ。
Kinda creepy for her dad to be saying that, but okay.
恥ずかしいこと言わないでよ
Laughing, Tsubaki's father left for the bathroom.
姉ちゃんアイス買いに行ってもいい
It looks like he's starting to ask for permission before doing something.
じゃあ今から一緒に行く
I'll come too.
体冷えちゃうよ
Did I just hear the hail start? The window shook loudly from the oncoming wind.
残念だなアイス食べたかったな
Hiroaki looks dejected.
コンビニそんなに遠くないからちょっと走って行ってくるね
I thought Tsubaki would say that. I put a jacket on over my pajamas.
あれいいよ京介くんはオセロでもしてて
Who am I supposed to play with? Let's just hurry. I took Tsubaki's hand and pulled her outside.
お兄ちゃんありがとね
He smiled from cheek to cheek. Just what am I doing? That night, I was drinking with Tsubaki's father.
当時はバイク持ってないやつは男として認められなかったからね。
Is that right?
京介くんはバイク乗るのかい？
No, but I have a driver's license.
そりゃあいい。今度みんなで遠出するときにはぜひ君を呼ぶとしよう。
Yeah, driving can be a real handful. My cell rang.
あ、どうした？出ないのかい？
No, sir. I'm speaking with an elder right now.
バカ！何をよそよそしいこと言ってるんだい？
Oh, all right. I reluctantly left my seat. Quietly, in the kitchen, I took the call. It's me. Yeah. Look, I realize government official scandals don't exactly grow on trees. Wait, stop right there. That deputy commissioner has a 16-year-old son, doesn't he? That's it, we got him. Use that to put on the pressure. I'm a real bastard? Yeah, well, you may be right. But the kid's problem is the parent's problem. If you don't like it, then don't have kids. That's what family is, isn't it? After finishing, I felt like my existence was tiny. Sure, let's get some dinner or something next time. I hung up.
京介くん、まさか 他の女の子じゃないだろうね。
Of course not.
いや、でも聞こえちゃったよ。ご飯一緒しようとか言ってなかったかい。
It's a friend and a very important business partner.
まあ、君はモテそうだからね。よく椿みたいなの選んでくれたもんだよ。
私がどうかした？
なんだ、もうお風呂から上がったのか。
Tsubaki suddenly appeared.
じゃあ父さんはもう寝ようかな。あとは二人でごゆっくり。
He sloshed. He quickly retired to the bedroom.
お父さん変なこと言ってたでしょ？
You have an interesting father.
よかった。
Tsubaki was staring at me without blinking.
最近よく笑うね。
Really?
うちに来ると楽しそう。気のせいかな？
Well, if you think so, then it's probably true.
よかった。
A brilliant smile.
私ね、京介くんに何をしてあげられるんだろうって考えてたんだ。
I didn't understand what she was getting at, and gave her an ambiguous shake of my head.
京介くんって一人で何でもできる人でしょ？
That's not the case.
でもあんないいお家に住んでるし、お金も持ってるし。
I'm nothing special. The special people are those like from my father's company. Some of what they've earned has just trickled down to me, that's all. I really do believe that.
困った時は助けてくれるし。
I saved her? Maybe it seemed that way from her perspective. Look, just don't overestimate me so much.
そうかな。京介くんが自分のことをちょっと安く買いすぎてるんじゃないかな。
She happily inched over to me again.
なんでも言ってね。
You want to help me this much? Then
なら
I can't tell her to move out. Maybe you should come and live with me. Her face flushed red in a flash. And your family should move into a house that's easier to live in. I mean, feel the draft right here. As I said it, I knew that it had little effect.
ありがとう。気持ちだけ受け取っておくね。
That's what I thought. I tried to think of a reason for them to move out on the spot, but I couldn't come up with one.
やっぱりちょっと悩み事あるのかな。
She's sharp, noticing my confusion like that. Can I ask you a trite question?
うん。
What's more important, your family or your lover?
ベタだね。
Believing I was joking, Tsubaki laughed.
どうだろうね。京介くんは？
I can't answer. What about life or money? No amount of money should be able to buy a life.
もちろん命だよ。ってあれ？なんかそんなこと聞かれたことあるな。
Tsubaki tilted her head.
まあいいや。家族と恋人だったら結局。
She stole a glance at me, then lowered her head, embarrassed.
わかんないな。その時になってみないと。
That time is drawing near, Tsubaki. I'll try my damnedest to convince your family that they should leave their home behind. Surely this will be my best chance. Still, I can't seem to find my resolve. I'm hesitant to destroy a happy family like this.
姉ちゃんおしっこ。あらあら。
Hiroaki rubbed his eyes and grabbed for his sister's hand. Tsubaki gently held Hiroaki's tiny palm. I watched the two of them absent-mindedly. Watching this warm scene, I felt peace, and in the end, I felt jealousy. Mom, I got a croquette from the school's leftovers.
そう。それは京介が食べなさい。お腹空いてるでしょ？
Nah, I already had lots and lots. I got it from the guy that sits beside me. We even fought for it. I think I've had it with croquettes for a while.
顔が腫れてると思ったら。
Yeah, I'm no good at fighting. If I just tell someone to hand over some meat, everyone will be scared and give it to me.
弱い者いじめしちゃダメよ。
I'm not gonna do that. I'm everyone's leader.
そうなの？
Look, remember the bruise I had a little bit ago? I got that from rescuing a classmate from a bully in one of the higher
お
grades.
腹空いてないの？
Nuh-uh.
そう。でも京介のお腹はまだ食べ足りないって言ってるみたいね。
That's my belly saying thank you. Yeah, that's right. Because I ate a lot.
母さんはいいの。京介は育ち盛りなんだからたくさん食べなきゃダメよ。
I've been a liar for a long time. My transparent lies were always seen through by my gentle mother.
京介ごめんね。
We were so poor that it was almost a joke. No one ever even believed that such a family still existed in Japan in this day and age. When my teacher came to my home for a house visit and saw the rundown state of my room, she tried to make me feel better. Kyosuke, even though it's hard right now, spring will definitely come. Listen, there's no such thing as discrepancy between higher and lower people. Didn't you hear that in class? So there's no need to feel ashamed. Fine. I'll give that poor woman the benefit of the doubt and assume there is no high nor low. No matter your perspective though, there will always be a left and right. On my left, a spoiled boy was wolfing down his steak. On my right, a timid, bullied girl was able to at least find solace in her comfortable room at home, and was allowed a clean shower with warm water. Why did other parents laugh and joke, never apologizing once to the rest of the world, when Mom was always bowing to others with a grim expression? And though they never reacted to other children, I realized as I grew in years that the eyes of the township's kind elderly ladies had borne pity and thus contempt for me. All of this because we had no money. If you don't have money, you'll have to submit to others when you shouldn't have to. You'll be suspected, even though you didn't do anything. You'll become the subject of pity without even noticing. The two greatest gifts poor, weak people can be bestowed are the endurance of livestock and the servility of a slave. If that wasn't the case, then why would Mom, a woman who had continually preached to me about not hurting the weak, allow herself to be tortured like that? In my dreams, I remembered that I still carried my father's immense debt, and I watched myself be crushed to death by the weight of the money. Money, money, money. All comes down to money. Money even. Hello, Tsubaki. Tsubaki shook my shoulders. A groan escaped my lips as I slowly sat up.
どうしたの？うなされてたみたいだけど。
Why am I here? Why am I in this rundown shack? I should be in my penthouse.
寝ぼけてるのかな？
Nope, 1 second. Okay, sorry about the delay there. My eyes focused on Tsubaki's face. Right, sorry. Good morning. Did I say something insulting just now?
みすぼらしくてごめんね。
Tsubaki seemed to be happy, as she still had a smile on her face. Sorry. What should we do today?
遊んでもらえるのかな？
Okay. I have to think of a new way to convince her to move. Do you want to go for a walk?
じゃあみんなでご飯食べてからだね。ねえ、僕もついていっちゃダメ？
Nope. But we'll bring you a present when we get back.
本当？やった
Being kind to Hiroaki is a prerequisite to any plan involving the Miwas.
ー僕ね、ゲーム欲しいよ
Cool. Got it.
京介くん、いいんだよひろあきもあんまりせがまないの
After that, we left her complaining brother and made our way towards the streets. Being a day off, Central Boulevard was packed to the brim with couples.
本当によかったの忙しくない
Don't worry about it. All I want to hear from you right now is a hint as to what you'd like.
え
We've been going out for 10 days, so I want to get you something for commemoration.
ありがと
She made a face.
うでもいいのかな
What? Isn't it normal to give gifts to your girlfriend?
そうなの私男の人と付き合うの初めてだから
Like I said, don't worry about it. What do you want?
と
Tsubaki was nonplussed. Anything is fine.
じゃあ輪投げセットとか
What kind of hoopla set?
なんのっていうか輪投げセットパーティーゲームみたいなのダメかな
No. But why do you want something like that?
家族みんなで遊べて楽しそうだなって子供の頃から欲しかったんだよ
Yeah. I really don't know what to say. I think the gifts a guy usually gets for his girlfriend are more like purses or necklaces or watches. You know, things like that.
そうなの
Isn't this supposed to be a gift especially for you? If we get something for everyone to enjoy.
ダメなのかな
I'm not saying I won't get it for you.
お父さんもお母さんもひろあきもみんな嬉しいと思うよ
I guess what I'm trying to say is that you should think of something more for yourself. Oh, here's a better way to put it. Normally, a gift with meaning should be something that makes you specifically happy. Something tells me this is only going to get more and more confusing.
みんな嬉しいと私も嬉しいよ
I saw that one coming. You know, this whole sweet as sugar thing is getting to be pretty questionable.
え
I get it. Let's go to the department store. Now that I think about it, will they even carry hoopla sets? Two hours later. It's just as I suspected. No matter how many stores we checked, not a single one had the product we were looking for.
残念だけどしょうがないね
Of course, we wouldn't still be looking if you had wanted something better.
いいもの
Something expensive. Girls are supposed to flaunt their Christmas presents to each other and show off how much they're loved.
詳しいね
No, babe. That's not what this is.
京介くんは結構贈り物してたのかな
She asked gingerly. Hmm?
だから今まで結構な人と付き合ってたのかな
Oh? I was wondering if you cared about things like that.
もちろんだよ
I'm a bit relieved, honestly. Surprise furrowed Tsubaki's brow. Let's grab some lunch.
あちゃんと答えてもらってないよ
And he's not going to. Tsubaki resembled a child as we walked along the streets. She got excited about every little thing.
あ見て見てあの信号って青になるのにすっごい時間差あるんだね
Modern traffic lights are really intelligent. I hear they calculate relative traffic volumes and change the timing accordingly.
へえすごいな
Sometime later, we stopped at a street-side stall selling accessories.
ねえ京介くんブランドの時計がすっごい安い値段で売ってるよ
I whispered into her ear. They're all fakes. Don't be fooled into buying them.
え偽物どうしてそんなもの売るのひどいよ
It's not cruel. The customers buying them usually know they're fakes when they buy them.
でも騙 される人もいるよね。それは悪いことだよ。詐欺だよ。
I don't know whether or not this is bad, but the stall owner isn't trying to trick us. At least he's not trying to sell fakes as the real thing, so it's not really fraud.
なんか難しいね。
Anyway, if you don't see anything you particularly like, you should avoid buying anything. Although to avoid a misunderstanding, I should point out that sometimes they do have the real deal. You might come across a great deal on a beautiful handmade necklace or something.
へえ、知らなかったな。
As we wandered casually down the streets near the shopping center, Tsubaki stopped again. This time we found ourselves situated before a group that was addressing the street. Every member was wearing pure white clothes, handing pamphlets to passerbys. Hey Tsubaki, we're going.
こういうのちょっと気になるよね。
Not in the least. Giving it a quick listen, the sermon was about scandals related to political and economic figures. Supposedly, there are too many people obstructing their salvation.
みんなが平等になれたら、
Yes, if only.
みんな楽しいのが一番だよね。
Yeah, that would be wonderful. Losing what remained of my interest, I left hastily. Looks like you get brainwashed too easily.
ん？
Yes, then excuse me. It's noon, and I'm being rushed by continuous phone calls. Sorry. This is just like last time, isn't it?
いいよいいよ。
Since we're going out, please try to put up with it. Mid-sigh, another call came. Sorry. Tsubaki held out her hand in a go-ahead pose. Hey, what's up, Miki-chan? Yeah. Great job. You're a great help. Right. Right. Then what? I kept on chatting about meaningless stuff with Miki-chan. When the call ended, Tsubaki asked me politely.
誰なのかな。
An acquaintance from work.
そっか、そうだよね。ミキちゃんって呼んでるから誰かなって思って。女の人だよね。
Don't worry about that. The next call came when we'd gone downtown, thinking of eating at a Western restaurant. When I noticed the caller, my mood suddenly became heavier. Again? Hello, what is it? How many times will I have to set Tsubaki aside? This looks like it's going to be another long one. I apologized to Tsubaki with pleading eyes once more. I already told you, I understand. Yes. I'm starting to feel exhausted. I casually hold the cell phone with one hand while I trudge up and down the street. Tsubaki seems to feel that something is out of place. She's been staring at me for a while now. I have to pick a good time to end the call. Then, a dull impact to my shoulder. My restless pacing has managed to crash me right into a pedestrian.
京介くん、携帯？
The phone had slipped out of my hand and landed near Tsubaki's feet. She picked it up. Tsubaki didn't have any bad intentions, but she couldn't help but hear screams of anger coming from the receiver. Tsubaki froze. Even though I've grown accustomed to hearing this insane voice of pure hysteria, it must have come as a shock to Tsubaki. Terrified, Tsubaki passed the phone back to me. A woman's voice, one always full of resentment and sadness.
誰？その女の人。怖いよ。京介くん、一体誰なの？ひょっとして京介くんのお友達なのかな？
No, she's not a friend. Tsubaki must be so scared that she's panicking. I can't blame her.
前に付き合っていた彼 彼女さんとか。
I immediately hung up.
私それでもいいよ。京介くんかっこいいからモテたんだろうし、昔どんなことあったとしてもいいよ。
Looks like she thinks I have a vengeful ex. In order to calm Tsubaki down, I pressed her against the wall. Don't make such a fuss. It's not like that at all. My threatening glare made Tsubaki even more tense.
だってすごい怖いよ。正気じゃないみたい。
Out of her mind? All my strength, with nowhere else to go, concentrated in on my arm. Sorry. That was Mom. I said that was my mother. Tsubaki was dumbfounded. Her face screamed disbelief. A person who grew up in such a happy environment could never believe that such a mother exists in this world. Mom went through a lot, so she's just a bit more talkative than she used to be. That's all. She's a bit lonely, I suppose. I'm with my foster father and living far away from her. She's just a bit tired, okay? It's all my fault. Mom was reduced to this because I was poor and weak.
京介くん。
At that precise moment, I suddenly woke up. A breath escaped my lips, like waking from a nightmare. What am I doing? Tsubaki's eyes. I felt that stare many times before. That stare riddled with obnoxious, worthless affection. Sympathy.
ごめんね。知らなくて。
Yeah, I didn't mention it. It couldn't be helped. The words that slipped out of my mouth harshly contradicted the raging emotions inside my heart. In the depths of my being, ugly and distorted darkness moved restlessly, accumulating, gathering. The truth is, it was a shock to me. I didn't want Tsubaki to know. I believed that even if she did find out, Tsubaki, that kind Tsubaki, would not pity me. My belief in her was something purely of my own creation, and thus the betrayal I felt at having my expectations violated was no different. It's quite childish, I know, but Tsubaki isn't much better. In the end, even though Tsubaki says she wants the whole world to be happy, when it comes to a person like me, she has no idea what she should do. There's no way she could possibly understand. Pity is the only thing we do not want. The best cure for our pitiful hearts is the superiority one feels when one has money and power. Shouldn't I be telling her that?
ごめんね。京介くん。そんな悲しそうな顔しないで。なんて言っていいのかわからなくて。
Tsubaki didn't know what to do. She hesitated for a while, blinked a few times, and finally thought of what she wanted to say.
それでも私がいるよ。何の役にも立てないかもしれないけれど、私も私のお父さんもお母さんも弟たちもみんな京介くんの味方だよ。
Every panicky sentence, every word, provoked the nerves in my ears. All the feelings I had for Tsubaki until now, like a flipped card, suddenly faced in a different direction. Right. Thank you. I gently lowered my head. Hundreds of times, thousands of times, I forced myself to bow to others. But this time, for some reason, it's unbelievably vivid in my memory. Slowly, Tsubaki cradled my head with her hands.
京介くん、好きだよ。
I love you too. There's no question that I've fallen for her. Tsubaki has filled my heart. And you're not useless.
そうかな。そう言ってもらえると嬉しいよ。
Yeah. Hidden by my bangs, I closed my eyes. I've decided. I'll let you be of use to me. And with that foreboding line, that is where we are going to end today's episode. So, thank you guys very much for watching, as always. Hope you're enjoying it, and I will see you all next time.